In 1900, at the height of empire and spectacle, a young researcher walked into the World's Fair with a radical idea. Not a manifesto, not a protest sign. Handmade charts and hundreds of photographs. That researcher was W.E.B. Du Bois, and he presented the exhibit of American Negroes alongside technological innovations like talking films, diesel engines running on peanut oil, electric trolley buses, and Paris's version of the Ferris wheel. But ethnic others were still labeled as curiosities at the time. Erroneous stereotypes, minstrel imagery, and lynchings haunted African American life. At the turn of the 20th century, Blackness was something to be measured, contained, even eradicated. I'm not showing you examples of that today. Here's what we're making visible instead, just like Du Bois. Long before dashboards, predictive algorithms, or AI, he grasped that statistical systems are also visual systems. To count is to see. To graph is to frame. To exhibit is to authorize. Many of you may know Du Bois's concept of double consciousness, the experience of seeing yourself through the eyes of a society that devalues you and requires you to be invisible and hypervisible at the same time. My current work connects data to race, gender, and visual culture, what I call data consciousness. Drawing on Du Bois, this critical awareness helps us to see how identities can be simplified or distorted, and how representation affects real-world outcomes. Governments, corporations, museums, and social media platforms decide what data is valuable and how it is used. Data consciousness reveals who benefits and who is excluded. Today, our world is saturated with images. We're currently experiencing a technological renaissance built on data. While museums and universities debate the past, present, and future of their colonial roots, algorithms sort us, cameras capture us, and our phones track us. But Du Bois and his team understood something crucial: that visibility is never neutral. Rather than objectification or erasure, he forged a third path that fused data, aesthetics, and ethics into a single visual language. His landmark charts, photographs, and exhibition design put the artistic and intellectual agency of Black Americans on the same stage as technology's modern futures. His data portraits combine modernist abstraction and empirical clarity. Using bright colors, precise geometry, and elegant lettering, Du Bois and his team, many of whom were students at Atlanta University, transformed demographic data into compelling graphic art. Each chart mapped literacy rates, land ownership, and class structure among African Americans after emancipation, not as victims, but as innovators. This collaborative work turned attention away from individual bodies, so often the targets of spectacle and surveillance, toward aggregated patterns that revealed structural conditions. In so doing, he replaced the gaze of curiosity with a lens of analysis. He taught us a new way of seeing, not simply making Black life visible, but restructuring the terms of visibility itself. This way of seeing operates in three ways. First, abstraction becomes protection. Du Bois transformed data into design, not bodies, systems, not spectacle, structure. By translating lived experience into color, shape, and pattern, Du Bois and his team made inequality and progress perceptible without exposing vulnerable subjects to scrutiny. Second, design doubles as argument. His charts did not passively display information, they guided interpretation. The chart on the left, for instance, shows how the assessed value of Black Georgians' property had increased so exponentially at the time that it required a whole new visual form, a bar chart curved into a spiral for the values to fit on the page. Du Bois and his team continued to develop this unique visual language in the chart on the right to represent the progress that Black Georgians had achieved against all odds. Third, context equals meaning. When you go to a museum, do you walk passively through the galleries, or do you look closely at the art as a mirror for history and society? For Du Bois, data gained significance through framing, through placement, through captions, institutional setting, and interactive design. He invited visitors to touch and turn the many portraits he had assembled, making the viewer an active participant in the meaning-making process. The exhibition design became part of the argument itself, not just teaching viewers how to read what they saw, but to feel it, interpret it, and mobilize it. What Du Bois initiated is more than just a style. It is a framework that redefines Black representation across aesthetic and intellectual domains. An ethics of seeing that reshapes how and for whom Blackness is made visible. Du Bois understood the limits of exposure, that data is not raw, innocent, or objective, but deeply entangled with power. Data consciousness asks us to question how both data and Blackness are produced, who they serve, what they obscure, and to what ends. It invites us to look closely and analyze what we see, not just the artists, not just the curators, the viewers, the audience, you, me, and everyone here today. As AI accelerates a new visual era, we must decide if the current renaissance of data will continue to reproduce old hierarchies, or usher in more just ways of seeing that do not depend on the violences of empire for survival. Artificial intelligence relies on vast data sets for its existence. It recognizes patterns, predicts outcomes, and operationalizes visibility, all while encoding bias, amplifying assumptions, and hallucinating. Du Bois offers us another model, one that pushes data to its limits. His charts endure not only because they are beautiful, they endure because they reveal how vision and knowledge are constructed. They illustrate that Blackness is neither reducible to statistics nor hidden from view, that neutrality is a myth, and that design is political. This is why data consciousness is so important. It is a form of vision that is neither detached nor voyeuristic, but critical and relational. In a time when visibility structures culture, institutions, and technology, data consciousness teaches us that representation is not merely about inclusion. It shows that design can resist. Opacity can protect. Sovereignty is possible. But a more just world isn't going to simply appear on its own. We have to build it, chart by chart, frame by frame, system by system. And to go farther, we must go together. Thank you.